Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a single new law that's set to completely reshape the UAE's financial world. Seriously, this is a big one. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so what really powers a modern economy? Well, it's a strong, stable financial system. And the UAE has just rolled out a brand new blueprint for its own financial sector. And believe me, this is a major upgrade. We're not talking about a few small changes here. This is a fundamental shift, really designed to strengthen the country's stability and power its growth for years to come.
All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll walk through the new blueprint, the central bank's mission, the new rules of the game, take a closer look at Islamic finance and insurance, and finally, we'll talk about why all of this really matters to you.
Okay, Section 1, the UAE's new financial blueprint. So let's start with the big picture. This new law, Federal Decree Law Number 6 of 2025, covers pretty much everything. The central bank, all financial institutions, the entire insurance business across the UAE. It's basically tearing up the old rulebooks and creating one single modern framework for the whole industry.
Now, this is the core of it all, the real game changer. The law sets up a totally new independent framework. The central bank is now a fully independent federal body, and get this, it reports directly to the president of the state. This is absolutely huge. It gives the bank incredible authority and, crucially, separates it from the day-to-day political shuffle. This allows it to focus on one thing and one thing only, long-term economic stability.
Okay, so with all this new independence, what's the central bank's actual job? What's its mission? Well, the law is super clear about this. It really boils down to three main things. First, keep the currency stable. Second, protect the entire financial system. And third, manage the country's foreign reserves. Think of these as the three giant pillars holding up the entire economy. It's that fundamental.
And to make sure it can actually do all this, the law gives it some serious firepower. We're talking a paid-up capital of 20 billion dirhams. That's not just a number, That's the financial muscle the bank needs to step into the market, to backstop institutions if needed, basically to do whatever it takes to ensure that stability we just talked about.
All right, let's move on to how the financial world is actually regulated. This is where we get into the new rules of the game. The law lays out a brand new rule book for every single financial player in the country, and it's very specific about who can do what and what happens if they don't play by the rules.
So, the law defines what it calls licensed financial activities. This is basically the whole set of financial services that now require a license from the central bank. We're talking about everything from taking deposits and giving out loans to currency exchange. And it's forward-looking too, even covering things like payment services using virtual assets. Yep, like crypto. The bottom line, if you want to play in this space, you need a license. No exceptions.
And this new rule book? It definitely has teeth. The law is crystal clear about when a license can get yanked. You could lose it for breaching your license conditions, breaking other laws, or failing to pay your debts. Even just stopping your business for more than a year or letting your capital drop too low can get you in trouble. Oh, and refusing to cooperate with the central bank's examiners? Yeah, that's on the list too. It's all about making sure everyone is accountable.
Okay, now let's put a spotlight on two really key sectors, Islamic finance and insurance. This new law doesn't just lump them in with everything else. It creates specific, specialized frameworks just for them, recognizing that they operate a bit differently.
First up, for Islamic finance, the law creates something called the Higher Sharia Authority. And this isn't just some advisory board. Think of it as the central top-level body that sets all the rules, principles, and standards for any financial activity in the UAE that wants to be Sharia compliant. It's a huge deal for ensuring consistency and trust in the sector.
And here's the kicker. From Article 24 of the law itself, the decisions and rulings from this higher Sharia authority are binding. They're not just suggestions. They are the law for every single Islamic financial institution in the country. This creates one unified national standard, which is a massive leap forward. The law also gets specific about Takaful, which is basically Islamic insurance. It officially defines it as a cooperative model where people contribute to a common fund to cover each other's risks. It's built on the idea of donation, or tabaru, and crucially, the law demands that Takaful companies keep this money in a totally separate fund, making sure it's all managed according to Islamic principles.
Then, for the wider insurance world, there's another really important rule. The law basically builds a wall between two types of insurance. On one side, you have insurance of persons and fund accumulation. Think life insurance and investment policies. On the other, you have property and liability insurance, covering things like your house or car. Companies are now pretty much banned from doing both. And why does that matter? It's all about protecting you, the consumer, and managing risk better. It makes sure the money set aside for long-term life policies isn't at risk from short-term claims on, say, property damage.
All right, so we've gone through the new framework, the central bank's mission, the new rules. So what? Why does any of this matter? Let's zoom out and look at the big picture impact on the UAE.
This really breaks it down perfectly. You can see how this affects everyone. For banks and financial firms, they're looking at stricter licensing and supervision, which means greater stability for the whole system. For insurance companies, new rules mean better protection for anyone who holds a policy. For the world of Islamic finance, having that central Sharia oversight boosts integrity and trust. And what about for consumers and investors? For you and me? It all adds up to a more robust, more transparent system, which means more confidence and security for everyone.
So, is this the financial blueprint for the next 50 years? I mean, when you look at the sheer scope of this overhaul, it's pretty clear it's not just about fixing today's problems. This is about positioning the UAE's financial system for decades of future growth and innovation. It's a really bold move, designed to create a truly world-class financial environment. The real question is, how will this new blueprint shape the nation's economic story from here?